so we got this looking pretty good. Went ahead and pulled the truck over here before it got too dark. So talked to everybody coming out. The main people I need to talk to. Got my truck where I need to. So we got a bunch of dogs howling. So what we're gonna do is clean up this spot. Some spots over here that we weren't able to get to, the little rocks where they pushed up a lot of dirt. So mulch it up, and then may have to get the excavator and kind of smack it around a little bit, kind of pull it out. So just probably about four hours made just doing this back and forth, because all the trees was like this, so I had to go around it. But I was afraid that their car is sitting right here. There's a nice brand new Ford Bronco. Did not want to sling and bust nothing. So I'm gonna have to clean everything else up, and then I'm not sure on the knives. Let's go check them out, because they was not cutting like I wanted them to, but they done pretty decent. But really, they really wasn't cutting it. Yep, just like I figured. Might have to grind those. Ah, that's probably why it's got a little bit of vibration to it. Anyway, let's get back to it. Getting close to being out of fuel. I think this is the lowest I've ever got it down. But we ain't quite finished yet. Let that spoil down, cool down for a minute. These knives is laying some pretty good mulch. So I'm gonna try to take and throw these in the holes where we start digging some of these big pines. But my plan is, I just came in here, they've got dirt mounds and all that where they've pushed trees up, as you can see down here. And then until we are able to start laying them down, we're going to take some of this right here and start kind of putting it where we need to in some of the dips, stuff like that. We got a bunch of rocks pushed right here, so I'm going to use most of this stuff to kind of dig out with an excavator and kind of, you know, put it where I need to, because it's all like this, because it used to be the paper mill. So I guess they did 2 seasons or 2 sessions of cutting, and then they sell it. So we'll be pretty much like everything on the inside is going down, and then we'll just kind of thin them out, leave the nice big ones, but as long as they ain't leaning or look dead. So and it's rough, like rough. We still got push down that way a little bit more, because they're wanting to put another dog kennel parallel, but looking kind of goes down, because it goes like this, just so they're going to have to build up pretty high. So I'm not sure how that's going to go, but they may, probably the best way is probably just cut down a little bit. But this is good for what I wanted, just kind of knocks it down, and that way we're going to put tops, and kind of when we start laying them down, put tops just kind of scattered, so that way when I can come back and just back drag, make it look pretty slick. That's my plan. So, and all these are pines, white pines and yellow pines. So, and then we got chunks like that, which shouldn't be a problem once we start laying them down, and come back and back drag and clean it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen the knives, go ahead and get them looking pretty good and sharp for tomorrow. But at least got most of the sandstone already mulched, so we should be pretty good for tomorrow. Not too much damage to them, but got a bunch of these to lay down. So my plan is drop a bunch of these up here down this way, you know, lay that second one, and start laying these further ones. That way we'll have pockets to start laying them down. All right, we're here early. Let's go ahead and get going. Talking to the old maintenance man. He always makes sure I got everything or need anything. But we're gonna go ahead and start ripping up some of these trees. We're gonna leave a bunch of them like they got over here. They got a bunch up front, and they're wanting me to build another kennel pretty much the same length. So we gotta make sure everything's pushed back, cleaned up, and enough for parking and all that stuff. So let's get to it. I thought this whole time that I was recording, but we've been ripping up. This is probably the best thing I've ever bought. I'm not sure how it do with hardwoods or anything like that yet, but pines, it rips it up, and I can get down in between the, you know, have, instead of a big old chunk that I was gonna have to haul off, I can come in and mulch it up a lot easier because it's just pine. But ripped them up, kind of just going pretty quickly, but I figured pushing them around stuff will break them loose. These Chinese batteries ain't worth the flip, but I've been ripping them up, cleaning them up, and this is the best thing I've ever bought. Definitely buy another one. I'd like to have, let's fix this. There we go, get the batteries charging. But the only thing I don't like about it, smacks the cylinder when you got it curled all the way in. I smacked it a time or two, right there. Yep, that's gotta be fixed. I gotta buy a guard or something, or fix it where it don't hit it. But you have to have this curled out a little bit. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start dropping them, so that way when Grant gets here, he can start. You can see the difference between there and there, which we got to come back clean up, which we can do that once we cut stumps off. But let's keep on going. Let's do some time lapses on this. That's one thing I don't like about it as well. It don't have like a push or anything like that. I'm trying to get it to curl right a little bit. There we go. That's what I wanted. Pile a bunch of them on there, that way we can go over and start picking them up and pile them up. And then come in and just pick it like that. Literally just a couple grabs and picks. Curls over, it really knocks it out pretty quickly. And this is chert too, so it cleans it up pretty clean. So just a couple of jabs and try to pick it up. This ain't the best machine to use for this, but we're working on trying to get something bigger later on once we can afford it. So just kind of pick it, kind of twirl it around. Sometimes you got to get down in there, kind of curl it at the top, so like that. So just like that. And luckily we got a sawmill that will take the pulpwood. They want it 20 foot. I wish I had a log standards, it'd been nice. We could haul a bunch of it at the same time. And kind of push it back over. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and mulch it just a little bit, and then we'll throw some tops right here so that way it'll look like mulch. So that way we can pack it and then mulch some of the roots up. this way, and then I pushed it, and as it was turning I let go of it, and then it shot. I pushed it that way. So I'm good for something. We're gonna go ahead and start cutting these probably when Grant gets here. I'm not sure when. He's got stuff to do, but he's just helping me. This is some good red soil. Got that Georgia clay, but it's really powdery, so it's set up pretty good as well. Just having to go back and forth and clean out the best ones I could get to without letting them stick or being in the way. That way they wouldn't get stuck, and then I'd have to worry about something. This thing's rocky, it's kind of annoying. Even with the blade down. Sometimes it don't play hold. Definitely gonna have to get a 30 or 40,000 pound excavator, that's for sure. boy Grant out there helping me. Go ahead and start cutting stumps. Got a bunch of them cut, kind of through the side. It's about almost 7 o'clock at night. Me and Grant just got to hammering down. Can't really see much of nothing. Figured it'd show more than that. Guess I ain't gonna show that. All right, we worked late last night. I'm getting some diesel fuel at our local supplier. It's a lot cheaper than buying it for almost $4 right now in Alabama. So we'll fill the truck up. It's getting a little full now. It's almost 3/4, and then I'm gonna fill the tank up. So we'll show you what we got at the job site. I still got another hour drive. No, hour 10-minute drive. So yeah, buddy. May or may not have forgot to grab the GoPro this morning. I've been working for a couple hours, but we're worried about work, getting work done. We're going to come back and grade it a little bit where it don't look so rough. There's the logs. We're going to come back and mulch everything up, but we're going to lightly blade it. These are the smaller logs because the close sawmill wants 20 foot, and then we're going to cut the ones that's under for pulpwood. So we got all this to mulch up, which it shouldn't take long. Got some 20-foot logs, good pieces, and trying to take some of these rocks and throw them in holes. That way it won't bust the stuff up. The root ripper is pretty good. We got to push back just a little bit more, and then we got to push a little bit further down there where that log is down there, just a little bit, for an extra 5 foot, and then the rest of it's going to be mulching. This is where their stuff's gonna go. Oh, that's good. That's a good thing about that one, but also if you're trying to pick up trees and move them, it will snap them. I broke one just like that the other day, or last night. We're just gonna mulch up the small stuff, like 2 liter to water bottle size. We fixing to mulch it up over here, and we're going ahead and pulling everything up there. Because on this lower side right there where he's at, there's a bunch of rock, and there's also rocks right in here as well. So I do like to pick, but when you go to pick up logs, if it's just one of them, it'll just flop because it's only got one hook in it. So what he's fixing to do is he's putting up on that top side, and he bladed all the rocks down, and then trying to take it up on the upper side so that way I can mulch it, and it'll sling it down in this little lower side, and it'll kind of fill in the lower spots. Right in here, we're going to rip up all these little stuff right here, but we're taking out about 6 or 7 of them right in here as well. That way it'll thin out to the edge, and then we got to push another probably about 10-15 foot over there, and then the rest of it's going to be mulching as well. been a long day. We're fixing to fill everything up, get everything greased. Definitely gotta grease this thing. This thing's worked hard today. Picking and moving. We really need like a, I mean, even if a 25,000 pound excavator would be a lot better than a 13,000, but I'm dealing with what I got. So I think what I'm fixing to do is crank the mulcher up and just come in and eat the tops out, even if we lose log length, but everything was dropped this way. So probably get everything done, and then probably should move these out of the way, but there's a lot of them. I can just come in, at least de-limb everything, clean it up a little bit. That way I ain't got to worry about much. I'm not looking for 15 billion logs, which we got a bunch up there already. So I think once we still got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 right here to drop, and then now we're going to work that way, and then pretty much all these right in here. So pretty good, pretty nice. So Grant is going to bring his grapple. I told him I'd buy it from him. We definitely need the grapple. Should have thought about that the first day we started, but it's just one of them things. But we got somebody coming tomorrow to pick up the stump. No, not tomorrow, Friday. So I'm gonna try to nub some of this stuff off just to help where we can pack more in there. So we're gonna be busy Friday. So I think if we can get all this cleaned up and then start dropping all these right here tomorrow, because these ain't as big as these down here. So go ahead and crank the mulcher up, and we'll get to mulching these tops right here, so that way it'll be less to do tomorrow, because right now it's all right. So we are almost 7 o'clock. Get everything blowed down. Can't really see nothing but other than what's in the bed. We're supposed to have rain tomorrow, but I think it's got down like 40 or 50%. So we're definitely going to try to get this done. If not, then tomorrow we'll be hauling logs. At least get some of these logs cut up and moved out of the way. So we're probably about, I'd say we're almost 3/4 way. After end of tomorrow, we'll be about 3/4 way done. So we'll see how it goes. I mulched up a bunch of it. I didn't record nothing because it was already dark, so ain't no sense of recording something when you can't even see. But anyway, we'll see you in the morning.